Welcome to We Are Legion, our third episode where we're going to talk about some community developments, some anger amongst the community, I should say. We're going to talk about equipment and some tips and tricks to that. I am Hate Mail. With me today we have DP0427, Loot, and Ogre Barbarian. Alright guys, so let's start with the elephant in the room, which I've noticed there's been a lot of anger, which I'm having a hard time understanding some of the rage. I do get some of the things that I've heard, but Loot, you're the furthest in the game, so you're kind of feeling some of these effects that some of the people are upset about. So would you mind just going into a sign of what are the chief complaints that we're seeing out there right now?
I think the most widely known chief complaint is the stamina nerf, and I've only been playing the game like 2 weeks. How long have we been in this? Maybe
2 to 3 weeks, yeah.
2 to 3 weeks. So at the 2 to 3 weeks ago, the stamina nerf, I didn't notice it at all. To me, it wasn't a nerf. It wasn't a big deal. I didn't understand why people were complaining about it. Fast forward 2 weeks, I now am feeling the stamina nerf big time. I am running out of stamina constantly. I have melted through my gems. All of the content that I'm playing right now, each level, I think, uses 8 stamina per round, and it adds up really fast. You need better armor. You need better everything. And in order to get better everything, you need a lot of stamina. So whereas you could get 60 energy for 10 gems, now it's 20 energy for
50 energy, 20 gems.
50 energy, 20 gems.
Now,
Did I say that right?
yeah.
Okay.
Now, let me ask you a question.
It's a massive, that's a massive difference.
Now, let me ask you a question, because one of the responses, and to those of you that say that the Aion isn't responding at all to these complaints, I mean, to be fair, when it was posted, NCOcho did give a response. You may not like the response, but he did give a response. So, I mean, most other games just wouldn't say anything. So I that part of the complaint I'm not buying into, but I do understand that this... Let me ask you a question. The question behind that is, do it make it so that you just can't play 24 hours, or you can't hardly play at all?
It made it that I must use real money to even play for an hour.
Wow. Okay, so that is a legitimate complaint then.
I mean, sometimes I don't think you could even play for a half an hour.
Wow.
It's a substantial change. It really is.
So basically, if they're not going to change that, which, if they want to make the secret shop something else, which was one of his responses, that they wanted to have different things, energy costs are just a little too high, especially for late game. Or way too high.
Oh, way too high.
So can I ask a newbie question? Because I'm still at the phase where basically I have overflowing stamina. That's the energy you use to do events, right? So I have it way more than what my counter is supposed to be. So I don't know actually how fast it actually replenishes. Does it replenish at a reasonable rate?
The rate's not bad. It's comparable to DCL.
It seems to replenish faster. I actually don't like this because your cap seems to be lower and it refreshes very fast. So you constantly have to go in to use it.
That's correct.
The cap actually seems like it's this similar to VCL2. It's just the level cap is 40, not 80. So there's a 40 energy difference. It seems like it has a very
feels like
similar,
it recharges way faster because
very similar style.
I can use up all my energy in the other game, go to work all day, come home, and my energy is just getting to max. Where in this game, I use my energy. An hour later, my energy is close to full, and I feel like I have to log in constantly to use it, which I don't like because I can't I can't go to work without having to check in on the game, which I don't want to have to check in on a game when I'm doing other things all day.
Right.
My max cap is 52, and it says it takes 4 hours and 15 minutes to fully recharge. That's all I know.
So this is a matter of your cap raising with your level, so maybe you should be, I guess, increase more so that, significantly as you level up, because what you guys are saying is right now is that at your current levels, it just fills up way too fast, even still.
Well, it's not that it's too fast; it's that the cap's too low.
Okay. Oh, okay.
The max cap
Yeah, the max cap is too low.
Right. And
It refills in like 4 hours versus like 8 hours to 10 hours.
Right.
so back to what Luke was saying. So his problem was that he can't actually get enough stamina. So sort of like the reverse problem, right?
Well, it's enough when I want to use it. I can't get enough if I'm logged into the game and playing. If I play like for 5 minutes or 10 minutes and then leave the game for an hour and then come back, I could play another 10 minutes, I guess. Maybe.
Okay. So basically, like for people who want to just continuously keep playing, your problem is that you can't actually get enough stamina. Like you could without actually having to spend actual money, right?
Correct.
Which I get the design to the game is you want to have people feel like they need to spend real money. But
you know what, though? I totally agree with you, but the thing about the secret shop that I don't think that the developers are taking into account is it's not that we're not spending money. We're just spending a little bit less. It's still using real money.
Right.
It's just using less money. But I think if they want to keep people engaged in the game, I think they're looking too short-sighted.
I agree. I mean, you can only play for 5 minutes.
Upside, yeah. So the upside isn't there. You want people to get hooked on the game, right, and keep playing. The way to do that is to make it economically feasible for the people to actually keep playing. And then maybe you can do things like incorporate ads somehow. Not saying that I like ads, but that could offset some of the costs.
So, okay, now I get the complaint. It makes sense to me now, because right now at the phase that I'm in the game, I struggle to run out of energy at times. So, because you just get so much. Now that I finally started playing the missions, which I've neglected horribly. I just got to Act 5 this morning, finally.
Jeez.
After all the playing that I've done. Because I've been... The good thing is when I get to the 6-star ran, I'll be able to do it quickly, because I've ranked up and geared up so many characters. And I played the XP
I think
corridors.
that's important.
Yeah, I played the XP corridors like a maniac. I still can't get any drops that are 5-star, even though I've opened more shards than probably everyone but Loot combined.
No, I think Doom opened the most, because if you do the math and figure out what he's been saying, I think he spent way more money than all of us.
Yeah, I kind of got that vibe.
Yeah, I think he went all out, knee-deep in the gems.
Yeah, I think he went whaling.
Yep.
He does that.
Living up to his sperm whale moniker back from BCL.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyways.
So, okay.
So that's just one of the issues that they've been complaining about. Another issue that you and I can't see so much or any of us can see, because it appears that they are being responsive on Reddit, and NC Ocho does respond. But apparently, if you do have an issue in the game, this is where their biggest complaint is. You contact support, and they either don't get back to you, or they get back to you with an answer that's just really not acceptable.
Gotcha.
So I'm the only one that's probably used support so far, and that was to unlink my account. And I will say that responses were very lengthy in between. It
Okay.
took probably 6 to 8 hours to get responses. And they were kind of cookie cutter. So I get that complaint.
Well, I know like one of the complaints was one of the players did a guild buff that literally he kept doing it to the max, which is 4 million gold to do. And the buff is broken and it doesn't apply the buff. So essentially he took 4 million gold and threw it in the garbage. So he contacted support, and support gave him, it was either 250 or 500 gems for his trouble. Now, if you do the in-game math on what the gem to gold buyback ratio is.
500 gems is like 1,000,000 gold.
Yeah. Very quickly you did the math. So do you think they owe him a little bit more than that? I would say they owe him a lot more than 250 or 500 gems. They owe him way, like almost 2,000 gems or more. I don't know what he got in return, but I think that 2,000 gems would have been acceptable.
Yeah, that definitely makes sense. Well, so okay, and then I know the last thing was the PvP change, which I'm very sympathetic to, based on the PvP system that has gone on for 2 years and has always been the same in the other game that we play, that we podcast for, and that is if you are a max level character, you get basically minimal points, where lower tier characters get a slew of points as a catch-up mechanism, which to a certain point I get the logic behind it, but in reality it ends up being, if you're a veteran player or you have a geared roster, or you paid a small fortune to get a super powerful team, you're basically penalized for it, which really sucks.
Yeah, that's correct.
So I definitely can understand that. The only part I kind of take a little bit of issue with, and that I'm a little, I kind of sympathetic to NC Ocho, and this does not mean brown-nosing him, but coming from multiple other mobile games where community development, community managers tend to give you a very one-line cookie-cutter response, if they respond at all, he definitely gives long, thought-out responses. And a lot of you guys got to remember that his job is to interact with you. He has no control over development or anything else. He can give the feedback, but that's all he can do.
That's right.
So, I mean, I saw the post, which I know this is by a well-known, respected player, but kind of rubbed me wrong, was the "let's stalk NC Ocho." I mean, what good's that going to do you? I mean, it's just going to irritate him to the point where he doesn't want to talk to you at all. So, that's kind of, I don't think that's the route to go about it, but that's just me. I can understand if you're really frustrated, you've invested a ton of money in this game, you could get to that point, but I just don't think that's going to be an effective method of getting help.
I have to agree. There's nothing good that's going to come out of that. And he's just a community manager. He's not the leader of the team. He's not the boss. He's not the manager. His job is to talk to us.
And I can tell you, we interact with a community manager in another game, and she agrees with us quite often, but the development team has other ideas, and ultimately it's their decision. So,
I mean, this is typical bureaucracy for any company, really. But if you think about it, any company that has a PR rep, it's essentially the same thing. You're not going to go, murder the PR rep just because of things that the company might have done wrong. You can send them a message, and hopefully the message will get pushed along. But that's the best you can hope for, really, because they're not the ones actually, with their finger on the button, right?
The biggest complaint, and I see this across, and I think it would alleviate some of this, and they may not have felt the need to, because it seems like a lot of these changes are to help with people like myself to be able to feel like I can catch up to the people that have been playing for a year with the global release, which, Lou, you recently found out it wasn't a beta, it was more of just a global release. It was only in a few select countries, and then those countries it was expanded to the US and everywhere else.
Oh, really? So they didn't actually wipe?
Yeah, so they were never wiped. So you'll see people, like if you look at the PvP board, there's people with 250,000 power teams. So they have a monster head start, a year head start, which is very discouraging to a lot of new players like myself who come onto I don't understand why there wasn't a new server added for new players. I mean, I guess it's because it was a very small group of people, so they didn't want those people to feel like, they're isolated on the server by themselves. And then if they paid real money, they didn't want to wipe their accounts, especially if it wasn't technically considered a beta. So that's kind of annoying. I kind of wish they would just create a new server, and then if new people wanted to join that new server, they could. I mean, I'd actually re-roll it even right now, even with the money I put into the game, if I had that option. I mean, I guess later on there's going to be 6-star or 7-star characters and then 7-star gear, which they'll probably let us catch up to that and then increase the level cap and then release that, and then kind of everybody's going to be on similar footing at that point.
All right. I think we've kind of talked this into the ground at this point. Let's kind of move along.
Yeah, I agree. So let's move on to gear. A lot of us have a lot of questions about gear. I know I do. Honestly, I don't know really anything about gear or what what I should be looking for,
let me talk about it then a little bit.
Yeah.
I've spoken to a lot of the guild leaders, as well as a bunch of players, and then I inspected a lot of the top players' gear, because you can do that. You can go into the game, in Add Friend, hit Search, type in anybody's name, and then click on the hero button, and you can see all of their heroes with all of their equipment that they built on
that's
that
cool.
hero.
I didn't realize you could do that.
I didn't know you could do that either. I don't remember who told me, but it was one of 3 people. I'm not going to name them at the moment. It's a really cool feature, and a lot of the things that I'm going to talk about right now I found on there. So I don't have them all written down right now, but I did do some homework and tried making notes on that spreadsheet that I started for us for the master FAQ, which I'm hoping you guys are going to help fill in too. Because it's a lot of work.
Well, ideally...
So let's start at the top. Let's start with Assassin, because that's one that I was really curious about, because I have a Fervus. I spent the money, and I got a Fervus. I 6-starred. And then my biggest problem was, how do I gear him? And it turns out that if you gear your character wrong, you're basically using a character not even close to their full potential. In fact, you might even be using them that they become ineffective because they're really not made to do certain things. Like you wouldn't put dot hot on an assassin. It just doesn't work.
Right.
So the way you want to
have terrible stuff on my assassin right now. So.
And there's different ways to get gear. You can get gear in a lot of ways. You can get it from adventures that put out what's called 2-set gear. That means if you have 2 pieces, you can get a bonus stat. So, for example, I'm trying to remember, one of the pieces of equipment has the Y symbol. It's called Deluge in the dungeon. I don't know what it's called in adventure. And 2 pieces of that will give you higher evade.
Well, I got one on some leather boots, some ghetto boots on my Fervus, and it says 2-set increases attack by 6%.
Okay, yeah. So I mean it gives you a stat boost. No matter what 2 pieces you put together, as long as they're exactly the same brand, it'll give you that stat boost. But what I found is that not only is there adventure gear, that's the 2 stat boost, there's also dungeon gear, which is 4 stat boost. You get 4 pieces, and it gives you a stat boost for when you wear 2 pieces, and then it gives you a bigger boost in another specialized skill for 4 pieces. So I'm going to give you an example of the type of builds that you want to go for an assassin.
Before you hop into builds, just for those listening, when you look at your gear and you're looking at the symbol that it is, if the piece is silver, it will have a 2-stat bonus. If it's gold, it's going to have a 4-stat bonus.
That's correct.
Now let me ask you one other quick question before you go into the builds. So for example, there's gear that has agility, strength, intelligence. It seems like, at least with the assassin, that it's all, or with leather on Fervus that he can equip, it's all agility. So it's pretty obvious that that's what he utilizes. But I've seen a few other characters, I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, that there's gear that's got intelligence or strength, and I'm assuming the intelligence are for the caster types, magic-based, strength is for physical characters, and agility is for your assassin type.
It says flat out in the game, as you're doing load screens, that each class is designated 1 base stat, and increasing that 1 base stat will also increase HP and attack.
Okay.
So yeah,
your
assassins
assumptions are
seem
yes.
to be agility.
Yeah.
And I notice, like, on my pieces, agility is on my boots and on my gloves. But it's not on my weapon or my armor.
And that may be
So,
true for everything.
yeah,
Maybe.
I don't have enough experience yet. That's the truth.
I haven't dug into which stat is important for which class yet, so I intend to at some point, but I haven't dug into it yet.
Yeah, I'm kind of treating it like I treat other MMOs where we have block rate. Like, for example, on my Tanku, I found a necklace that has block rate. So I assume he's carrying a shield. That's probably useful for him. So, and some of
That
it's
would
just,
make sense.
I
yeah,
think that it would
I
make
mean,
sense.
some of it is kind of just, basic
Where an
common
assassin
sense.
would want evade rate, so I mean,
Yeah.
so yeah, I mean, I don't think it's going to go that far out of the way outside of the normal MMO stuff. So I think you're probably safe with that for the most part.
Well, but then there's also, there's a lot of little weird, interesting stats I'm seeing on some of this gear that I
Mm-hmm.
honestly don't know just how useful or how good or bad that is. It's like, for example, the wings I have on my light Tanku are enemy DIV rate down 34, death DIV power 48. I have no idea what any of these.
Wings are super duper rare. In fact, that you've got wings for your Tonku, congrats. That is awesome. I've
Well, it
yet to
says
get
his
wings
dark
from
damage up
anywhere.
is 4.7%, and dark damage taken is -4, but he's a light Tanku, so I don't know if that
Yeah.
helps him or not. But
Yeah, maybe not.
he
That
was the
might
only
be
character
better
that
for
could
the
equip
dark
it, so.
version.
The damage taken would be important for him.
Right.
Him reducing the damage taken because light and dark are counter to each other.
Well, I even
So
have
that would
wings
be
I can equip
for
on
him.
Milla that I didn't put him on her because it's a wood Milla, but it says water damage up, fire damage taken down.
Now,
That's exactly what you want. That's exactly what you want. She does extra damage to water.
Oh,
She
okay.
takes extra damage from fire.
Okay, I was thinking that if she needed to be a water Milla to do the damage, the extra damage.
No.
so where did you get these wings from? I think a
What-
lot of people would like to know that.
I think every wing I've gotten has been whenever I get a revenge for guild, and one of you guys, either I've completed it or one of you guys completed it,
Oh, very cool.
and that's where it's dropped.
Very cool.
If you're looking for wings, save up your guild coins also because you can buy them in the shop there.
That's exactly what I'm saving them up for.
Yeah, I've
But
been
in the
too, 'cause
wild, they come out of revenges. That's good to know. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I think I've gotten 3 so far.
Jesus.
That's
Okay, apparently
amazing.
my luck has moved is on wings and
Your luck
not
is
on.
not in character. Your luck is in all your other crap.
That's okay, because having a great character without great equipment isn't great at all.
Gotcha.
So
Yeah.
I've only got a few minutes before I have to hop, and then you guys can continue. I did want to talk about a couple different armor types that would go really nicely with, let's maybe do 3 classes. So for an assassin, you want to build as much evade as possible. So you can get evade armor in adventures. I believe it's on level 7. I'm checking while we talk. In the dungeon, it's called Deluge, and 4 pieces of that gives you a huge evade bump. The other items that are good for assassin are the eccentric set, which offers combo status accuracy. That's its special. You can get that from a 2-stat, from a 2-piece. And then the other type is motivation for physical penetration.
Where are
For
those are the sets that you're talking about that drop in that dungeon?
So some of it
Yeah,
drops
I'm
in
not
guild
really-
dungeons, and some of it drops in regular dungeons. Right now, I don't know where they come from, but I can tell you they sell them in the secret shops.
That was my next
And
question. Are those
from what
restricted?
so from what I've heard, and this came from the largest whale in the game, he has stated, and this is, I believe it's from Zimboro, he stated to me that, and he said, you can quote me on this, running Razor Claw level 8 over and over and over and over again is a complete waste of time. You will get gear, but the likelihood of you getting the gear that you need or want is so muddied because there's so much can drop. Like the math just doesn't work in your favor. You're better off spending the 1,200 gems and going in and buying the set that you want. And then you've got it. You can use that set. Now, it's not that doing those levels is totally bad. It's not bad. It's just you're probably not going to get the 4 pieces that you're really going for. And if you do, luck was on your side.
Okay, that makes sense.
So that's Assassins. You want to do as much evade as possible, physical pen, and combo status accuracy if you can get it. Let's talk Gladiator. And the reason why I'm doing Gladiator is because Ren is a Gladiator, and all new players like me and you guys, Ren is a powerhouse in the adventure. You want to use him. You need him for the story. You have to 6-star him in the story, so you might as well make him great. And
he's strong in PvP too, early at least.
Yeah, he's good in PvP late too. You can put him in a hidden spot, and you'll get attacked, and you will wreck the other team. I woke up. I just put him in my hidden spot like maybe 2 or 3 days ago. I woke up this morning. I checked my defense log, and I had 79 defensive wins.
Holy crap!
I was like, "Oh my god, jaw dropping!" Yeah.
Now, did they do something
awesome.
special in the secret slot when they come out?
I don't know. I
They
can't figure it out.
They have full charge SP when they come out.
Oh, that explains why they're so strict. Because it just seems like characters that normally aren't that big of a deal, when they come out of the secret spot, they just absolutely slaughter you.
Oh, yeah. And Ren, a maxed out Ren with the right gear, he will go to town on that team, and he'll just wreck you. I've gotten so many bait teams where I go in and I'm like, oh, yeah, that looks easy. I go in, and then I get totally destroyed. And it's like, are you kidding me? I went in with a 140k team, and I just got my butt whipped by either Fervus or Ren.
Now,
So
what I'm
the
wondering,
way you
too,
wanna-
with Ren, is it better to keep Dark Ren, or is a Light Ren better? Because I think I got a Light Ren. I can't remember.
I don't know the answer to that, but I can tell you Dark Ren is pretty great.
Yeah. I assume so.
So there's very minor differences between the Rens, but I think the Dark Ren is the only one that has the, like, cheat death mechanic that he does.
Yeah, basically, when you get him down to 0 health, he gets his full health back the first time.
Yeah, that's annoying when you're facing him.
That's the only Ren that has that. All the other ones have, like, 100% block.
But what
So
you're
the
saying
way
is
you want to build a gladiator, and after I say this, I do have to drop. You want to do, and this you can get in the dungeon, and it's something that's required as part of the story. Now you want to get a better star set than maybe you got like when you were on this step, but you want to get retention armor, and that's going to give you combo status accuracy and increase HP. And then for jewelry, you want to get conviction, and that also gives you combo status accuracy. And while I'm going to say this is just what I think. I think the reason why you want that is because he's an interrupter, and that allows his interrupt to work more. It almost guarantees that it's going to work if you're wearing that full set.
I did read somewhere that you want to get, for late, especially late game PvP, you want to get accuracy gear so you can hit a lot of these high evading Fervuses, because I see the chief complaint for it sounds like when you get a bit higher in the PvP, for example, that Fervus is just all over the place, and he's very difficult to counter.
You do. You really do want accuracy. That's a very key stat. I don't know how that is different from combo status accuracy. I think it is different. I don't think it is the same stat because from what I saw, it's either Rangers or Gunners. Accuracy is something that you absolutely want. I don't remember which one is which.
Yeah, it's something we'll have to play with more and get some information from people who...
Well, combo status is only activated by 3 things, and that's stun, airborne, and knockdown.
That's
and
correct.
those are typically on assassins and gladiators.
Those are your interrupts.
Right, those are your interrupts. And that would be, to initiate a combo status, you need that accuracy with that move, because they can still be evaded.
That's correct.
Just because you use a move that should interrupt an ability doesn't mean it's going to be accurate. So you need that combo status accuracy to boost that particular skill's accuracy. And I'm guessing the accuracy boost is higher than a regular accuracy boost. Just guessing, though?
That would make sense. And that's probably the logic behind why you want that retention set.
And that, I was just kind of digging through the gear. Now I remember where I saw that you could, like for example on Milla, with a necklace, you can, I have all different kinds, intelligence, strength, agility, so you want to be careful not to put agility on a Milla, for example. Or not, I mean, put intelligence on a Milla, where she's an agility-based character.
Yeah, your jewelry is where you're going to see the deviation on what equipment you can get on them, because they're for everybody.
Yeah.
And
So
you can absolutely use the wrong jewelry on the wrong character.
Yeah.
Just like a newbie-ish question. So this jewelry, this type of equipment stuff, so you can't actually take them off and put them on other characters after? Once you put them on, they're done?
You can.
No,
Okay,
you can unequip.
all equipment you can unequip, but it costs.
And it can cost a lot, too, especially late game.
You got to be real careful with how you're putting things on certain people, right?
Early on, I don't think it's a big deal. From what everybody says, you know,
Early on, it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
Early on, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So you're getting 5- and 6-star equipment, which I'm still not. I don't know. Pate's probably still not either.
I'm getting 5-star equipment.
Yeah, but are you getting 6-star equipment?
Rarely.
Far enough into the storyline to get 6-star yet.
Well, no, I run the higher dungeons.
But just so you guys know, the 5-star gold or unique armor is better than your 6-star green and even some of the blue.
Yeah, that makes sense.
All right, I'm sorry, guys. You're going to have to continue without me. It was a pleasure speaking to you guys this morning, and good luck.
Thanks, Lou. And actually, due to the amount of time we've been recording already, I think we probably should wrap this up, and we'll save team building for another episode.
Yeah, and maybe that next episode I'll have a lot more information on armor types and who should wear what, and I'm going to work on filling out that spreadsheet this week so that, you know, you can all look at it and digest it and we can dissect it.
Yeah, and we'll make we're working on a spreadsheet for anybody listening that ideally I'd like to have it listed where the ideal, a listing of all the characters, what characters the ideal types that you want, either fire, light, dark, the ones that are the most useful, and then on top of that, what characters they synergize with. So we're working on content for this. It's going to take a long time to do, but
yeah. But I'm working on the character synergies.
Awesome. All right, guys. Well, we'll go ahead and wrap this up. We appreciate everyone listening, and until next week.
All right. Take care.
Thank you for listening to this episode of We Are Legion, a WROL broadcast production. If you liked the show, consider becoming a Patreon.
Patreon.com/WRRR Legion.
And don't forget to like and subscribe.